Hey,
Hey.
Hello everyone. Welcome to an unusual Tuesday
Yeah.
afternoon broadcast, and we're just at the TIADA
hmm
convention in
Just
San
wrapped up.
Antonio. Yeah, just wrapped up.
hmm
We helped pack up the booth and kind of get things wound down. And these things are always um, combination of exhilarating and
Exhausting.
exhausting, and it's
Yeah.
just kind of strenuous. By the time you have
Yeah.
a couple of days of sessions, and some of these poor dealers, especially these board
hmm
members, and some of the people that are involved in
hmm
the planning and these different sessions,
Yeah. They did a great
they
conference.
yeah, they're a really great
Yeah. And it
conference.
was
I
really
just
great to connect with all of our vendor friends. And we ran into a few dealers that you've worked with. And
Yeah, that's
it
always
was a
nice. And so you
good
get
trip.
to finally meet people that you maybe have only dealt with by phone or
hmm
whatever, maybe only met in a
Yep.
virtual meeting.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting thing. We felt inspired to prop up a broadcast this afternoon just to
hmm
kind of share a story, because we found ourselves kind of embroiled in something
And
unusual.
yeah, unexpected.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
hmm
so we thought we better just talk about it, make sure that part of our thing with White Hat Way is we preach transparency, and
hmm
so we need
hmm
to practice what we preach here. And so this
hmm
was an opportunity for us to just get out there and kind of share our
Yeah.
perspective on something that happened that's unusual. And on the one hand, you don't want to drag people into something that
Yeah.
is kind of
That's not it at
yeah,
all.
it's
Yeah.
not something with it's not so much that it's um, you could look at this through a context of something drama based, and you say, well, why would dealers say,
Yeah.
why would I get involved in that? Like we wanted to really have a chance to talk about why
Yeah.
it even
Well, it
matters.
was around suitcasing.
Yeah.
And those of you, when this kind of came up, we ran it through Claude, because you
Mhm.
all know that we do a lot of AI,
Mhm.
and so we asked what is the definition of that, and then
It was
and
what I expected, because
it
I've
was
been
what
around these
exactly
conferences
what
a
we
long time. Yeah.
expected, and then I was like, there must have been some kind of really interesting miscommunication
Yeah.
or something, and so we looked at it and talked about it from a lot of different perspectives, because there was we were asked, or it was brought to our attention that the feeling is that we were suitcasing while
Right.
we were there, and from
So
our
somebody had used that word. Apparently.
yeah, and so from our understanding, suitcasing is basically when vendors pay good money to
Mhm.
go and do a booth, and that's part of how these associations pay for everything that they do, is through the vendor participation. So they want to make sure that vendors are able to get the market share, I mean, of the eyes of dealers.
Yeah.
Because the dealers are the customer, they're the ones that are here for the thing, and the vendors are there to support the association. And so I was kind of confused, because we weren't talking to any dealers. We were there. A friend of ours, colleague of ours, had extra tickets, and we decided at the last minute to come down and enjoy the conference, because it's been a few years since we've done it. And just had the opportunity. Those of you who are familiar with what we have brewing, is that we're working on a few different projects, Jim and I individually, and the thought that came back to us was that in talking to vendors about collaborating, that we were suitcasing.
Yeah, it's just a misunderstanding. I think people have probably got the wrong idea, and so we just thought, let's just kind of get out there and tell our version of what really happened.
Yeah.
First of all, it's probably important to know that we were here on a ticket as a vendor, so we were here with a collaboration partner, and he had a level of sponsorship that entitled him to certain tickets,
and he
that
had
were
extras,
used,
and he's like, come.
and extended the tickets to us, and so we came on his sponsorship.
Yeah.
And so we were here essentially as his guest, but also as a partner. In this case, is Corey Morrissey. We can say it was Corey Morrissey with Seymour Solutions, is somebody that we have always enjoyed working with.
Yeah.
I've known Corey since way back in the Florida days. So somebody that we enjoy working with. So we came really to spend some time with Corey and be able to find ways to collaborate with Corey. And of course, that led to other things. But I think I'll pause to explain that one of the things I was sharing with you last night is yesterday was quite a day. Like yesterday was important. We had a long day, a couple of expo sessions, and I was able to go to DMS booths.
Oh yeah, you had
the
some
BMS
really important conversations.
Yeah, it's like, and it's just what it represents is like, think about this, folks. Like I was able to go catch a dealer that I know because we want to ask vendors to collaborate with us and make information available to dealers to get them. And of course, our selfish angle on that is that we want the dealer to be able to easily remit their V8 dealer data to us on a monthly interval. So we're asking the DMS provider, in this case, I go up and introduce the dealer to the DMS provider. There's one example, there are others, but I was able to take the dealer, let's talk to the DMS provider together, make the request together. By the way, this dealer didn't know any of the people, right? This dealer's been on that software for years and didn't know any of the people. They didn't know him. And so it was an opportunity for us to make that request together. And then there were a couple others. I had a phone call yesterday morning, totally unrelated to the conference. The person didn't even know I was at the Texas conference and said, hey, I just want to get word to you. I'm going to have a little bit of a delay on my V8 data because I'm changing software. Well, within an hour, I was able to go speak to the DMS provider that he was leaving. I was able to speak to the DMS provider that he was moving to. In the interest of the dealer to make the request of here's what we're going to be doing. If we can support the process, then obviously we want to do that. But I think there's one more example. It doesn't matter the details, but it's like that was the beautiful thing about being here and having all the providers in one room and being able to go and shake hands with them, talk to them, make the requests in person and help them understand we're making this request on behalf of dealers. And we invite you to collaborate on this other project, which is this data translation layer that we're working on. Corey, I'm sure will be a big part of that. We've got our new partner. We announced this past week that we've got a new data partner who's come in, and so Lend Risk Analytics is now going to be working with us to pull together data for V8. And so with all the movement that we have around data and this data translation layer, it was a wonderful opportunity for us to be in the hall with all these other collaboration partners and go meet with them. And so we were just kind of floored by this.
I was talking to a lot of the different vendors, people that I know and people that I've been introduced to talk about the project that I'm working on with Buyer Payer Nation Television and where that's going and how vendors, I'm asking vendors to participate in it. And so that was really fruitful, a lot of really great, great interaction and comments. And I just said, when I'm ready to send you a prospectus, they're like, send it. We'd love to hear about it. And it was confusing. And because one, the definition that we understood was the way we understood it, but it was interpreted differently, I guess.
We obviously weren't there to pitch dealers anything, right? We're there working on behalf of dealers to
and we were there for the booth anyway, but
in a booth anyway. So like, you're right, that's people, and it happens that people will come and attend a conference and sit outside the thing and pitch to dealers in the walkways or whatever else.
And when we were asking Claude this morning, that one of the things, and we gave it a little bit of context, and it said, oh, that's exactly what's supposed to happen. That when you go to a conference, it's that part of the reason why those conferences are put on is so vendors can be together and collaborate, as long as you're not taking away time from the vendors being able to talk to dealers. And so, we
or stepping up and trying to take a dealer away from their booth, which is the other thing.
Exactly. And that was not the case at all. And we happened to have friends and colleagues that are the decision makers. And I had a chance to talk to the national, the top brass national, and also with the state, and said, hey, here's a thing. And did I do something that was inappropriate? And they're like, no, you're absolutely fine. And they said, okay, if anyone calls you and says that this was a problem, please reach out, because I'm the, if I've done something that is against the rules, because we talk about transparency and we talk about just like really being forthright and honest and all of that. And so if there's somewhere along the way that unbeknownst to me, because heaven forbid that that wouldn't occur to me to do something that would be considered inappropriate,
right,
and or even malicious
especially when we're there, one as a guest or partner with somebody who's paid for the booth, and the other thing is we're here as a guest of an organization that we support. Like we're certainly not going to be here to try to do anything detrimental. So it just was kind of a curious thing. And then I think what really triggered the idea of having this, we found ourselves blocked from a popular Facebook group this morning, and some of those kind of things I thought, that is really strange and really
and
unusual.
defriended too.
And unfriended, yeah. So it was frustrating and just weird.
Well, and it made me sad.
Yeah, I get that. So that's something that I think it's just, to me, it was more of a curiosity, and it as most of these kind of things can be, is a misunderstanding, but it just kind of for us, we just thought, well, let's just make sure our story is out there and available, and that we can make sure that people understand from our perspective.
We're here and this is part of the conversations that we had over the last couple of days, is that we are the first thing we want to do is to be able to collaborate, and if there's a way to collaborate, let's collaborate. And that we're that's one of the beautiful things about living in the country we live in and being involved in the industry that we're in and all of that, is that there are choices, and that there's a lot of options people have, and that you don't have to be with or against. I mean, so I still absolutely, I think that there's no malice at all that I feel, but
let me just say,
it's just miscommunication, I think, misunderstanding.
So if you think about what this really means for dealers might not care if you're walking in the hallway and somebody steps up to pitch them. It's just that when you recognize, and I recognize, when you're somebody who's hosting a conference, then you would have a responsibility to those people who paid to be there, pay a significant amount of money to have an expo hall or to be in a booth space or whatever and be part of the expo. So it makes sense that they would want to protect that and make sure that they'll guard against suitcasing. That's why there's even a term. And so it's not unique to the buy here, pay here or auto industry. It happens in lots of industries. But I think for this one, it was just kind of an unusual thing. And so we just wanted to make clear about what our...
And last night when we were talking about this, I was like, I'm woo anyway. So it's like, I kind of went inside and it's like, oh, where, no malicious, nothing, whatever. And I thought to myself, where is the miscommunication? And that it's like, did I do a thing that, because my understanding of definitions and, you can get all words, what is, or whatever, that I felt really grounded and centered and true to what I had been doing. And so what I wanted more than anything was just it's a misunderstanding of some miscommunication of some kind. And, that it's, I think it's a really good topic to, when we feel wronged in some way, frequently, I think humans are good, and people that know us know that, we're not malicious at all and all of the things. And so frequently just the human question is have a conversation, have there's a thing, and this is how I feel, and this is, what's making me feel this way. Let's talk about it. and that's what I'd still like to be able to do. But I felt by the end of our conversation yesterday, it was like, yeah, I feel grounded in my my actions and behavior.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I think at the end of the day, you know who you are. But I think what I shared with you last night, same thing I would say today, is like what I see with you is because it, you know, the feeling part of it, it's like you're taking ownership of it. And I think for me, it's like I'm not taking ownership of it. I'm just moving on.
And so I'm like, oh, just
Right.
just it kind of eats me up a little bit, because I mean, you know, everybody doesn't. No one likes to feel like they've angered someone
let it go.
or done
You
something.
know you
So
didn't.
so I just you know, just so that all out there, the heart and intent are 100% in a good place.
Good.
So
so I think to kind of finish that out, I would say that, you know, we spent most of our time working with
it was a great
providers.
Conference.
It was a really great conference. You meet these people. You've got reinsurance people here. You've got DMS, CRM. You got all the different services here.
Yeah.
And I was able to spend a lot of time with them when we think about working on behalf of dealers. We've made a lot of progress. One of the things I can tell you is, and if you're a dealer listening, you know, we put out a post about pastime, and I would say we didn't get to see LHPH Capital or Dealer Re, our other founding sponsors. They were not here. We put out a post yesterday on behalf of the folks at Pastime because they're supporting our mission at White Hat Way, and so we wanted to share with everybody what that represents and kind of why it matters. The same thing here when it comes to like providers. You know, when we're working with these other providers and we're doing that, trying to create solutions for dealers. And, you know, you heard me say to a few of the people that we worked with, I'm over here just working to try to make sure that when I one day leave this industry, I want to leave it just a little bit better than I found it. And this work that we're doing around data is a nice opportunity for us to do exactly that.
Yeah.
And I can share with dealers that, you know, we hear from, I've had dealers texting me in the last week asking me about a DMS switch and, you know, who should I talk to, whatever. And I would just tell you, we find that some DMS systems are more cooperative than others. And, you know, at the expo hall, when we make those requests, sometimes they will say, yeah, we're happy to work with you. And of course, in that environment, so we follow up. And sometimes in our past experience, they say they will at the conference and then they don't. Yeah. But we're going to continue to make those requests again and again of these DMS providers. Because
that's what we're doing, is trying to improve the experience of dealers and, you know, make it something where they aren't having to struggle or be, you know, placed over a barrel or have access to education easily or all of those pieces. So
but I would say mostly we were met with people who were eager to cooperate, right?
And advocates for dealers as well.
Yeah, for sure. And so I think there's a spirit of cooperation. You know, we met with mostly spirit of cooperation and willingness to collaborate. And so we're going to continue to march ahead with that. And we'll do that work on behalf of dealers because we, as I said to a number of people in the last couple of days, I've said the buy here, pay here business is a difficult business. It's more difficult now than it was pre-COVID. And so especially the last couple of years, dealers have taken a lot of hits. So anything that we can do to help provide better information to dealers so they can make better decisions for themselves and help them to get more efficient with technology and any of these things that we're working on, and that's what we obviously want to do. And we're going to continue to do that regardless of which Facebook groups we're a member of or whatever else. Like we're just going to continue to do what we do and show up with good intentions and do what we do, and it'll all work out just fine in the end. So
it will. It will. So hope you all have had a great week. It is hot and muggy here, and we, like I said, wrapped up a really great conference. Glad that we came. I'm really, really glad that we came. From some of the conversations that we had with people that are our colleagues, friends, and hoping to partner and collaborate with. So it was a very fruitful, very fruitful thing.
We will be partnering because, like I always say, I pride myself in being creative and flexible. So I think
just creative and flexible
where there's a will,
enough.
there's a way, right? So we'll certainly be ready to collaborate on our side.
Absolutely.
All right, folks.
All right, everybody. Thanks again thank you for joining today for just a minute as we just, you know, try to make sure that things are clear.
Yeah.
And that we just are be able to communicate that.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate all of your support very much.
Absolutely.
And hope you have a great rest of your week.
We expect to see you back here Friday morning.